from New York. Let's see who else we got here. I see a ton of familiar faces, which is awesome, making me feel super comfortable. Jen from West Virginia, Doug Scales from Virginia. We got Denver in the house with Cannon. It's a great name, by the way. Try to keep yourself muted if you can, guys. I'm not going to play teacher the whole time and try to keep you to pipe down, but just try to keep it on mute just so we keep the lines free. Susan from NYC. What's up, Susan? Of course, Mr. Warlick is here from Maryland. What's up, dude? How you doing? Man, I see so many rock stars. You guys don't even know, man. We are blessed to be in the presence of some of these amazing people that I know. So make sure if you got a friend or family member who wants to tune in, we're dropping some serious value tonight. So make sure you let them know that we're going to get started here momentarily. Just plan on about an hour tonight. Okay. About an hour. Even if you got to do multitasking or you got to make dinner while you're listening, I promise you one thing. If you stick around, me and the fellas here, Johnny, Dave, Casey, we are going to bring a ton of value and insight into how to reach success, not just with your fitness, because obviously you guys probably know me as the fitness guy, but with your family goals, with your financial goals. And we're going to talk about, as we head into the rest of this year and next year, what is the environment like? What are we looking at economically? What are we looking at from some of the things that have been successful for us over the past year for our fitness, for our business growth? So I know everybody here can get at least 3 takeaways tonight. So at the end, I'll ask for takeaways. And as we go along, I'll ask you guys to participate. But just make it a goal tonight to walk away with 3 key things that you can start doing right away. All right. 3 key things. So welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. Casey, why don't you introduce our amazing guests that were kind enough to spend some time with us tonight. And we're going to start doing a little roundtable discussion, and make sure you guys fill out the form that Casey has dropped in the chat bot, or in the chat box, I should say.
Yeah. So first up, we have Johnny Richardson. I've known him for years from Las Vegas. If you guys don't know who he is, you got to go watch his Instagram stories. They're quite a hoot. So Johnny, why don't you go ahead, give a quick introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to speak with these gentlemen tonight. So I'm from New Jersey, moved out to Vegas in 2012. So I do run a real estate company out here, and one of the biggest objections I hear when it comes to somebody as far as running a company that's starting someplace, or like, why I didn't grow up out there. I'm a perfect example. You don't have to. You don't have to have that market from when you're a little baby and growing up through high school and everything else. It's what you make of it in every step that you're doing. And that's why I figured out when I came to Vegas. We had a talk just before the camera came on. Vegas is a great spot if you want to build a business, be an entrepreneur, and then you got the other side of people that just come out here and slack off. I went the other direction, and that's why I'm in front of people like this and working with people like this. Now, as I've grown the business, I own 49% of a title company. I had 49% of a mortgage company I said I had, because we just sold it over the last month and a half. And then there's 179 agents that I manage over, 100 in Vegas, 79 trickled throughout the US as well. When it comes down to it, I truly believe you're going to make your destiny in this world. And that's why we're talking about family, fitness, as far as how you're building your wealth. If you want those things, if you want a strong family, you will make a strong family. If you want to have that wealth and have what you see, I don't ever believe in comparing yourself to other people, but you see something that, like, I like to put that on my goal, then you're going to be competing with yourself to obtain those other things. Fitness is where it all starts. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not resetting your mind, working on self-development, you won't get there. These are the items I live and breathe, and I'm blessed to be talking to everybody today, giving you some valuable content. You're always available to reach out to me at the Shark JR as well after this if you have questions on anything I inform you on.
Thanks, Johnny. And then I have Dave Panozzo. I've known him, again, another one I've known for years. Had the privilege. Anytime I'm around this guy, same with my wife, he's just always adding a ton of value. You know, if you're a big believer in faith, this is someone who you want to be connected with. If you're looking to start a business, this guy's going to put you right in the right direction of how you can achieve those goals and really scale your team. So, Dave, why don't you go ahead, give an introduction?
Hey, everyone's going to think this is all real estate based. Okay. So I'm also in the real estate space. My wife and I, we run a real estate team, but let me back up. I'm 56. I'm going to be 57 in December. Guys and gals, I've been reinventing myself since day one. Okay. I have gone through some horrific stuff. I've been sober for 18 years. I used to be a fat ass. And then I got all, right and tight. I got really sick with COVID, almost died in the hospital. Like, I've been through some really crazy stuff. And a couple key components that have gotten me through all this. It's God, it's my family, and my fitness. Okay. And at this day and age right now, to talk about God and, politics and all this stuff is like taboo. But at the end of the day, you really have to have a true believing in a higher power than yourself. Okay. That's first and foremost. And without your health, none of this will be here. Okay. And I think we're getting to a point now to where we're starting to see where health is now, that's the new riches. That's really where it's at. Because I will tell you, from my COVID scare, I was in the hospital for 10 days. There was probably 3 or 4 days where I didn't think, I was going to make it out. It didn't matter how much money I had. It just didn't matter. Okay. And so that was a scare that got me to a place to where I was never, ever going to get myself in that situation again. Because typically when you have like that near death experience, you go one of two routes when you get out of it. It's either rainbows and unicorns, or you're going all in. There's a reason why I've been put on this earth. And so that's how I look at it. You got to go all in every single day. Well, how do you go all in, Dave, on every single day? God, faith, fitness, you have to do all of it in order to perform at a super high level on a daily basis. There's no other way around it. And that's the one thing that I was always skirting around. I was always worried about all this other stuff, when really it was me looking in the mirror going, all right, Dave, let's go. And so the rest is history. And now, leading other people as a leader, if I'm kind of overweight and I'm not eating right, I'm looking kind of sloppy, me as a leader, am I going to get the best results out of my team? Absolutely not. So I lead from the front. I'm the first one to step my foot on the playground, and I'm the last one to take it off. And that's how I look at it.
I know a lot of people here, and I want to hear what you each have to say about this one, but a lot of people here just feel overwhelmed, right, with trying to do everything, especially today's day and age, where you feel like, you might be missing out on opportunities if you give yourself time to work out, right? Or as a father, if I miss kids stuff because I got to take care of myself, how do you guys balance it all? How do you go all in on all these things that we all would agree are important, but how do you make it happen? Like, what are some of your strategies?
So I'd say, as far as for myself, you can't sleep in. That's part of it. When I speak to folks who are like, well, I can't fit in a workout. I'm like, well, let me ask you a question. When do you wake up? Well, 8 o'clock is not going to work. Not to say this happens overnight, but I program myself to get up. I'm normal, and I say normal because we all get a little beat up here and there, but I'm going to fall between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. There's certain times of the year to where, once I'm really dialed in and everything else and on that ramp, and you're feeling that heat and everything else, to where there's nights where I'll wake up and it's like 3:30 in the morning, my body's ready to go and I just rock and roll. So, but if you're waiting till 8 in the morning to start your workout program, get to the gym, wherever it might be, come back and have breakfast, say goodbye to your wife, and you're rolling into the office at 11 o'clock, that is not a formula for success. You have, just like Dave had mentioned, first foot on the playground, last one to leave. You're the first one in that gym. Who cares who's there? It's all about starting your day right. You may not have the time, but you have the ability to make the time at the end of the day. There's nothing out there that isn't done with formula. You can't make cookies without a recipe. And if you take out some of those, whether it's getting up early, have a structured mindset, the cookies aren't going to come out the same exact way. So you got to come up with your formula to make it work at the end of the day.
Mm.
I'm gonna share with you guys. I just want to get a show of hands. I guess hit the heart button or something. How many people sleep with their phone next to their nightstand? Everyone, like, let me know where you're at with that. Do a majority of you? Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Type of me in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
I see a lot
So,
of thumbs up.
okay. So I'm gonna give you the ultimate hack right now, because what happens is you put that phone next to your nightstand. So when the alarm goes off in the morning, there's a good chance you're gonna hit the snooze button. Okay. Because you hear people, oh, I got 4 or 5 backups to the backup to the backup. Okay. I'm gonna solve your snooze problem. And this changed my life. 2014, I was going through kind of like another rebuild. Okay. I'm on like Dave Panozzo 5.0 right now. Okay. So I was having a lot of trouble getting out of bed. So what I started to do was I put my cell phone in the bathroom. Okay. So when the alarm would go off, I would have to get up out of bed and go turn off the alarm. Now, next to my phone, I would have a 32-ounce glass of water. So I would turn the phone off, drink the water, and then right next to, on the ground, I literally had my workout clothes laid out, almost like those cutouts of the dead person on the ground, like the crime scene. I would have my socks, my shorts, like everything would be laid out. Because what I wanted to do was almost give myself like a mind fuck where, okay, I hit the button off, I drank the water, and as I drank it, I would look down, well, there's my workout clothes. Now, if I wanted to have that super loser mentality, imagine how that would make you feel. Everything's laid out because you know that that's what you need to do.
Calm down.
That's everything you need to do in order to start your day. And by hitting that snooze button and then walking back into bed, can you imagine how horrible that feeling would be? So
Hey,
I have
no,
completely.
DJ.
Can you? There you go.
There we go.
We're good.
So now I've completely cut out this hitting the snooze and going back to bed. And I'm telling you, it's a game changer. These cell phones don't do you any good next to your nightstand, especially at night when you're scrolling. There's nothing in there you need to see, okay? And there's definitely nothing in there you need to see when you first wake up in the morning. So again, if you want the hack, that's how you do it. That's how you get it started.
Yeah, I've been a proponent of we call it morning movement. It's been probably a decade now. We have some OGs in this room who go way back with me, but I would say that besides maybe prayer and Bible study in the morning, there's no better way to start your day than working out. And even if that's going for a walk, doing some jump rope, riding the bike, whatever it is, there's literally no better way to start to stack wins, to start to build your confidence, to start to feel good about yourself, to start the day. I always joke around and say the reason I start my day with a workout is so I'm not an asshole. Because if I don't start my day with an output of energy, that energy's got to go somewhere. And when you harbor it and you start to resent the fact that you didn't start your day on the right foot, all of a sudden I'm very combative. I'm a jerk. I'm impatient. I'm very short-tempered. So starting our day and getting up a little earlier to get a workout in, I think it's highly underrated. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're like 65 sitting here going like, why are these guys telling me to like get out of bed and get up? Well, because it works, man. Like you're never immune to the possibility of self-improvement, just starting with your habits, starting with the little things like that. It's the days that I get up crazy early and I have those extra few hours and I'm like, why do I not do this every single day, even on the weekends? it's just powerful. It's like you have an extra day almost to yourself, right? It's super, super incredible. We've had a lot of changes. I'm not going to shift gears completely, but just on that same theme of improvement, we have what seems to be a rapidly changing economic state, right? Bitcoin is flying. I've been buying Bitcoin for years. The stock market's doing great. Everybody's excited that the economy here in the United States, at least, I know we have people in Canada and around the world here probably, but the economic state of things seems to be starting to turn around. And for those of the people here who are trying to not only get in great shape, but build financial freedom, what are some of the things you guys are most excited about and focused on the rest of this year and as we move forward into a new chapter here in the States?
Not to be obviously it's my industry is real estate, so I'm always going to be head deep into real estate. But if you take a look at it as far as last 30 years, last 40 years, if you bought a piece of real estate and we're hanging on to it, like most people out there, they're not. They're like, oh man, stuff's getting rough. Time to sell, time to do this. They're constantly have anxiety and shifting. So I'm out there constantly. One, it's my industry. But two, as far as educating people that aren't in my industry and how to find the deals, how to put money into the deals, how to create multiple deals, because I believe 100% everything's going to have waves out there. And it's just like anything else that you're battling the outside, what's happening right now. You're going to hear a lot of different opinions. Don't turn on the news. Forget about it. As we're going ready into 2025, we have reopened our wholesale department because the reason why there are people with anxiety where they'll be pumping and dumping at that point and just offloading things where maybe they made bad decisions, bad relationships, you name it. The list goes on to where we could go ahead and grab more properties. So I'd say if you're on this call, I mean, real estate's a great way to go. I probably know this much about cryptocurrency. You probably know a lot more than I do, and I don't know about Casey and Dave, but I know as far as friends that are in the business, there is huge opportunity right around the corner at the end of the day. There is. And a lot of people build up anxiety in any market as far as when their shifts changes. I'd say shift your mindset as far as from scarcity to more opportunity. There's huge opportunity that's happening out there. There's people that are going to go through over the next couple months going into the new year that are going to be doom and gloom and not see anything that comes across their desk, whatever your industry is, whatever you invest into. And then there are going to be others that are paying attention, that are dialing in, that want to provide more for their families, develop more wealth. While everybody else is dropping off, pay attention. There's going to be huge opportunity to blow yourself up going into the next year. Me personally, it's going to be real estate.
You want me to go?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
go
just
right
gonna let
ahead,
Dave.
Dave.
I'm let Dave looks like he's got something to say. So I'm just
No, I didn't know if Casey was going to jump in.
No, I'm letting you go.
Here's the thing. Expectations are out there, right? And whenever you put big expectations on things, it's kind of funny, like just seeing kind of the flavor of the day right now with, Trump now, he's going to be our next president, right? All of a sudden, everyone's feeling all warm and fuzzy. And it's like, oh my God, things are going to change. Here's the thing. Nothing's going to really change. It's all mindset. And I think right now, we're at this day and age where people don't really want to work, okay? There's a lot of entitlement. It's like, oh, feel sorry for me. I deserve a break. Listen, we are the ones who create our own break. And I think that this is where, there's the 1%ers, the 99%. Listen, the 1%ers are the people that have the common sense right now, because there's not a lot of common sense. I'm old school, okay? I like to shake someone's hand, look them in their eyes, grab their shoulder, be like, oh man, it's so nice meeting you. We don't have those skills right now. That is a lost art form. We have to get the attention of people. People are so disconnected because they are knee deep in this thing. This is the problem right here, okay? This is where the anxiety comes from. This is where the comparison of others comes from. I hear so many people, oh my God, I can't believe they're on vacation again. Who cares? Why are we comparing ourselves? I just saw a study the other day, 36 days a year of content consumption, 36 days.
Mm.
Do you realize that's a couple hours a day? What if you took that couple hours a day and worked on something other than looking at social media? What if you worked out for 2 hours a day? What if you meal prep for 2 hours a day? What if you read the Bible for 2 hours a day? Do you realize what a better person you would become? There's your bump. There's your bump in making a better life for yourself. Because again, it's not always about the money. Yes, the money helps. Trust me, it does. But we got to look at some of the basic one-on-ones of life. Just because there's a shift in the administration does not mean that the checks are going to start being delivered at your house. So whatever you've been doing this last 4 years or last 8 years or whatever it is you've been doing, this is that year, and really it's today, not next year, because we still got time left on the clock, to start doing these things that you said you're going to do. Stop lying to yourself. We always lie to ourselves. Oh, it's going to be a new year, new me. How about a new day right now? Like today. Why do we have to wait? Why do we have to wait? Like tomorrow's Thursday. Why do we have to wait till Monday? Why can't we start tomorrow? And I think that that's where we have to get going and stop bullshitting ourselves on why to do something at another time. Because we're scared, because it's hard, it's the work. No one wants to work and get dirty. That's the biggest problem right now. We're soft.
Type in the chat if you guys are resonating with this, by the way, because I am. You know, I think it is a lost art to just get old school, man. Like just do the work, just put the blinders on. You know, I obviously I talk about weight loss all the time, and people ask me, you know, I used to be 65 pounds overweight. And they were like, how did you lose it? How did you get in great shape? How did you do all the things? I said, I didn't give myself any other choice. You know, I didn't leave any other option. I didn't say, oh, it's all going to come together on January 1st. That's when things are going to change. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what goal you have. Maybe your relationship with your spouse is rocky and you start to see the potential for a divorce. Or maybe you feel disconnected to your kids and you think, all right, next month or 2 months from now, or when things settle down, I'm going to start doing things that I know are going to improve that. Unfortunately, all you're doing is you're reaffirming with your brain that those things aren't that important. You know, there's a time that may happen down the road that once you get there, things will all come together and you'll be able to focus on those goals. All you're doing is you're getting addicted to staying in what I call the pit, right? Addicted to, for lack of a better term, the struggle, you know, addicted to this whole thought of, man, there's excuses as to why I can't do it. It becomes addictive. I only know it because I've been there a million different times. And so you just got to put the blinders on, whatever your goals are, because we all have targets. There's nobody here on this call that's like, I'm perfect. I'm good. Nothing in my life needs improved. I know everybody has targets. So stop putting them off. There's no like the magical New Year time frame, the holiday season, whatever you have now, right now. And we'll talk more about fitness here soon and why I think you should start your 2025 goals today. But yeah, what Dave said is absolutely true. First of all, you need to build your self-belief and your confidence so that you believe in the work you're doing. And the only way to do that is to start stacking wins. Getting up early, going to the gym, proving to yourself that you can, you know, wake up to the alarm, put the shoes on, get in the car and drive the 5 minutes to the gym, do a 30-minute workout and come home. That's how you build your self-belief. It's little things. Got to start stacking wins, got to start making deposits into your confidence.
No, I agree. It was interesting what Dave had mentioned as far as how much time people spend on their phones. And There's a lot of negative content out there. They did a study in the early 2000s, and what they found, as far as just take Instagram, for example, as people would flick up and watch and consume, they would pass throughout a 24-hour period an entire football field. Well, they recently did another study over the last 2 years. Now the average person is up to 3 football fields. 3 football fields a day with your finger. And I always say with social media, you're one of two things: either you're a producer or you're a consumer. And it's super dangerous if you're a consumer. Like David mentioned, as far as you could be doing so much more meal prep and working on your craft, your skill set, spending time in the gym. I can't tell you how many people out there say, I don't have the time. Well, if you stop doing this, that's probably a good whatever, however many hours it takes and everything else. I believe 100%. It's not just your health. Well, I shouldn't say just your physical health, it's your mental health and your mental space. And you have to be so careful now what you're going to bring into that. Just like a cheeseburger, you're going to McDonald's, that's not going to feed you. Stuff popping out of here, be very careful what you're bringing into this space as well. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're only, guys are there's a way to use social media to consume good things. You can curate, and have a time and place for certain consumption of certain messaging. Right. But, I know, because I'm guilty of it. We all are. Like, nobody here is sitting here going, yeah, I don't mess with social media. It doesn't affect me negatively. No, like if I start scrolling, I start seeing people I know who are posting their highlight reels. Right. And it might give me, a rush of dopamine to see something cool, but then all of a sudden it's that depression, that self, hatred, that feeling of, man, I'm never going to get there. And it's because it's all fake. It's all, for the most part, it's all nonsense, right? It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, I've met all these people, not all of these people, but a lot of people who are very, very well followed online, and they're posting all sorts of stuff. And when you meet people, you realize a lot of these people aren't even happy, right? A lot of these people have terrible marriages, terrible habits, the vices, all the things that they're attached to. It's not really what you want anyway. Use media or social media to improve your life. Find a handful of guys that put out a positive message, or women to put out a positive message, that bring you motivation, that bring you education, and use it sparingly, man. Like, don't get caught. Even my stuff, don't go dig through all my stuff, because I'm only posting stuff that I hope will help you. I'm not showing you all the struggles, right? I try to show you some, but I'm not showing you the argument that I have with my wife that pisses me off, that makes me want to freak out on Casey for not doing his job or whatever, right? Like, even though Casey's awesome, I'm just kidding. Charlie, who's, my head of client experience, he knows I go through waves of emotion sometimes, but it only
Yes,
gets
he
worse.
does.
Yes, I do. When you're consuming too much, produce 99% of the time. Allow for a little bit of good consumption if that's your thing. But to Dave's point and Johnny's point with the study, we waste so much time, and most importantly, energy. We waste so much energy consuming so many things that don't help us.
No, I agree. Energy is going to be everything at the end of the day. It really is. I mean, one of my first mentors in real estate had taught me this, as far as you don't have everything for whether you wake up at 8 in the morning, whatever your regimen is, 4 in the morning, and think you have till 10 o'clock. So those of us that are in early, out late, you have to be you have focused on where that energy is going, what you're applying it to. The argument that you get into with somebody, the frustrations, the goofing off, whatever it might be. Picture it like a tank. You have so much. You're coming into the office, maybe work from home or whatever it might be, but be very conscious of what you're putting out there, because it will run out. I found out I used to be one of those guys. I'd work around the clock. I'd be at the office till midnight. It was counterproductive, because once you hit a certain limit and you're running out of energy, you will not be productive. You will not provide value to people you're talking to. It's going to be very diluted at some point. So be very conscious when you're getting up, putting your program together, just like we had mentioned in the beginning of the call, getting ready now for the new year, not like others will, starting January 1st. No, it starts right now. There's no reason why you don't have to. And put that game plan together and how productive you're going to be and the things you're going to start out with. We talked a lot about as far as fitness goes. It's very important. As far as I'm really big into self-development, put together as far as what your wealth plan is going to look like going into the new year. Be fully prepared as these opportunities come up. It is all super important and runs in with each other, but energy is going to mean a lot. It will 100%.
Well, you got to remember the magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Okay. And to a lot of the people that are on this call, oh, Dave, yeah, I hit the snooze button. I'm still successful. Or, I don't work out all the time and I eat okay. Like that really, no, you don't understand. This is war. Okay. Like sales, whatever it is that we do. I used to be in the military. So I do like war analogies and stuff. Like every day is a war. Like we're up against something, right? And so again, stacking these wins is so important before you start your day. Okay. Now in the military, in the Army, we did not train to lose. We trained to win. So now in civilian life, you kind of have to do the same thing. So by starting each day with multiple wins before I walk out the door, I can't be, no one's going to mess with me. Like I am mentally fit, I'm physically fit, and I'm ready to take on my day. So by not hitting the snooze button, by getting in my workout, by doing my affirmations, by doing these things that I do on a day, I'm already walking out the door with like 5 or 6 wins. Who is going to play with me? You know what I mean? Like I'm going to go at it. And so if you're just rolling out of bed and you're going about your day, you're already 10 steps behind me. So if you want that little extra edge, see, it all comes down to us. We always want to point at the circumstances around us, and really it comes down to us. You are it. Starts with you. And that's really this message that needs to be driven home. Like, no one's going to save you. No one is going to help you. You're not going to get lucky. The only way you're going to get lucky is with the hard work that you put into yourself. And I think a lot of times we're scared to put work into ourselves because we have in the past and it hasn't worked because we've quit or we've given up. This is not the time to do that. These next 3, 4, 5 years, we're going to see some crazy shit happen. All right. So you have to be physically fit, mentally fit, and financially fit. Like those 3 things are going to be key. And also too, if you're married, it's time to get close with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. It's you guys against the world, right? That's how it works. And your kids as well. Like we have to, this is the new generation of leaders in this world. Okay. No one's talking about this stuff. Everyone's talking about sales and money. Guess what? There's more to life than that. If you're chasing the money, you're gonna live a very shallow life. And it's sad to see because I remember making a lot of money back in the day, but I was miserable. I was a drug addict, alcoholic. So something wasn't working. Okay. I had to reinvent myself. And sometimes people are scared to reinvent themselves because it's hard work. Get used to the hard work.
Speaking of hard work, Casey, you cool if I share my screen? I think the fellas
you should be fine.
and I are gonna, if you guys in the chat, just do me a favor. I want to talk a little bit about fitness because what Dave just said is something that I found to be unbelievably true, especially the past year. You start chasing money and success, and you at times forget about what's important. I promise you, more money and success is really not what is going to fulfill you. I'm not saying, none of us will stand up here and say money doesn't matter. No, it absolutely does matter. But it matters the most when you get it when you're in a place of health and abundance. When you have a give first mentality, that's when the floodgates open and you are blessed beyond belief. So I want to talk a little bit about how do we create this abundance and this opportunity-based mindset. And I truly believe, I'll hang my hat on it, I'll die on the hill, that it starts with fitness. You can't beat me in a debate when it comes to how important I believe fitness is. So I want to share my screen just to kind of guide us through some of what I want to talk about tonight. Let me see if I can get this to share here, Casey. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I think we're good now. So I'm going to share this. Can you guys see my screen here? So it should say the Shredded Summit.
Yes.
You guys got me? Cool. Keep typing in the chat. What are your biggest fitness bucket list items for 2025? Bucket list fitness items. Like, you know, some of you want to jump out of airplanes. That's on a bucket list, but like fitness related. You want to get abs? Do you want to feel good in a bathing suit? Do you want to stop buying triple XL shirts? Like, what is it? Is it perfect blood work? Don't think small here. Think huge, because I'm going to challenge you tonight with some thoughts around how you're going to get there. All right. I see a lot of body fat percentages. Cool. All right. So the word abundance, I want to know what abundance means to you guys as I kind of go through what I think it means for me, but it's real simple. It's real simple. I believe I'm put here to succeed. I believe I'm put here to win. I believe I was created in the image of a perfect creator. I'm not perfect, obviously, but I don't believe I was put on this earth to be overweight, to be broke, to be a jerk, to not bring value and insight into people's lives every day, and to be a horrible father and to be addicted to vices. I don't believe that's why I was put here. I believe I was put here to hang out with you guys, with the Johnnies, the Daves, the Caseys, the Annas. I'm just seeing names on the screen. Charles, like, you guys are winners. I know you're winners because you're here. You know, you're in this room. You made time for this. Whether you believe it or not, I think you're a winner. Charles DeSantis, Bobby, you guys weren't put here to be below average, to hate life. And that's what abundance means to me. It means I believe that there's a massive amount of opportunity, a massive amount. And it starts with my mindset that, number one, everybody can win. There's no cake that we're all competing for. It's not like I get my slice and you don't get your slice. Or I'm going to get ripped abs, but that means my wife can't get ripped. Or, you know, my kids, they're only going to get so much from me because I'm over here trying to get my fitness right. Nah. There's massive abundance in the world. You know, I want to make Casey rich, because if I make Casey rich, I'm going to be rich. You know, I don't look at it as I'm competing for anything with anybody. We're all here to win together because there's unlimited opportunity. And the reason I know that is because you can create opportunity every single day. If you can create something every day, that means there's more of it all the time, which means we live in an abundance of opportunity. So I want to challenge you guys to start thinking about this opportunity in front of you. And maybe your big goal is fitness. You know, I see a lot of big goals here. Ripped like my twin. Doug Scales. I know you're 20. He's pretty ripped. Run a half marathon. Like, you're gonna succeed, but it's only gonna happen if you look at it from an abundant perspective instead of what is the opposite? Scarcity. Right? There's not enough time. There's not enough money. There's not enough opportunity. I'm always competing for a job. I'm always competing for business. Like, and trust me, guys, I get sucked into this crappy low vibration mindset all the freaking time. And you know how I get out of it? Anybody want to write in the chat? How do you get out of that scarcity mindset? For me, it's fitness, dude. It's fitness. Because if I'm not taking care of my body, if I'm not lifting weights, if I'm not doing cardio, if I'm not eating well and fueling myself with the right amounts of food, then my brain's not going to function properly. My body's not going to function properly. And I'm going to fall into the trap of a low vibration state where everything sucks. Life is too hard. It's not the right time. I got too much work going on. I got travel. I got blah, 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 blah. All right. So tonight I'm going to share with you, just I'll be as quick and interactive as possible. I want you guys to interact as we go through this. And I know Dave and Johnny and Casey have a lot to share too, and probably a ton of feedback. If you stick around to the end, full disclosure, there is an offer at the end. You know, we have a coaching program for people who want to transform permanently, starting with your fitness, get your body right, get your mind right, and start to get into something that you can sustain for the rest of your life. Black Friday, it's the only time of year we do one sale a year. 20 people, coaching offer. We'll tell you about it at the end, but stick around to the end. I'm going to pose a question for you. Are your standards right now serving you? Right? Is your life better and the way you want it to be because of the standards you currently hold? Or do you need to raise and elevate your standards? Because I can promise you, if you're looking in the mirror and you're like, first thing in the day, the first thought when you look at yourself, butt naked in the mirror, or shirt off, or whatever it is, maybe some of you guys sleep in PJs. I don't know. Grow up, sleep without a shirt on. What's wrong with you guys? What's the first thought that you have? Is it like, hey, fat ass, let's go to work? Or is it like, man, I'm really glad I skipped that bucket of ice cream I was going to eat last night because I like waking up feeling refreshed. And I'm really glad I only drank 1 glass of wine instead of 5 like everybody else at the work conference. Or maybe I'm glad I didn't drink alcohol at all because I'm going to the gym and those guys were sleeping in. You know, or I'm really glad that I had date night last night instead of watching the game because there's going to be 100 other football games. My team sucks anyways. Bear down, Bears suck. So I'm glad I had date night instead of watching the stupid Chicago Bears again, right? What are the standards that I have, and are they serving you? So appreciate you, Dave. You're awesome, man. Thanks for jumping on, brother. Make sure you guys connect with Dave, by the way. He's an absolute rock star. Obviously, you guys just got a little dose. And make sure you guys follow Johnny too. Johnny, put your stuff in the chat just while I'm thinking about it before I forget. But make sure everybody follows Johnny and Dave because we're going to be doing more stuff together throughout this year. Really good dudes, family first, value-driven guys, high standards, of course, like we're talking about now. So that's the first question. Are your standards serving you? If they're not, you got to change them. Like, it's that simple, right? If you're not waking up and the first thought when you look in the mirror is like, I'm proud of the work I'm putting in. Physically, I like the way I'm showing up. I feel good in a shirt. When I go to work, I feel good at the pool. When I have my shirt off, I feel good running around with my kids. I feel confident with my spouse and how I'm showing up for them from a physical and mental standpoint. If that's where you are, awesome. Congrats. And I know a lot of people in this call are there because you're in our program and you're crushing it. But some of you aren't there yet. And the good news is you can get there, but you just got to make that decision today. You got to ask yourself, are my standards serving me? Because 2025 starts now. I asked you to put your goals in the chat. Just be honest. Anybody who wants to be vulnerable, how many of you out there right now are thinking about starting a fitness regimen, improving your fitness regimen in January? Just be honest. If anybody's brave enough to be honest, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up. Because I'll tell you right now, I have goals too. And I'm tempted at times to put them off. Like, you know, when the time is right in January, when everybody's not worrying about Christmas and holiday parties and stuff, that's when I'm going to start. And I promise you, and I've been in fitness for 20 years. I became a trainer in 2004. David, you want to start now? Just need help. Dude, you're in the right place. Going to give you amazing help right now. Nathan's trying to start now. Yeah, guys, there's no magical time. Calendars are made up. They're made up. Like, imagine if calendars didn't exist and we just had like the sun or something to kind of keep us on track. There's no magical time. Like, it's just this made up crap. Like, ooh, the holiday season. Yeah, there's like 3 holidays out of 90 days. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Whoop-de-doo. 3 days. I feel like there's more distractions during non-holiday season. There's like all the summer stuff. Like, I don't know, anybody with kids, like I got stuff coming out my butt in terms of stuff I got to do. So it's a made up deal. So number one is, are you going to be brave enough to start now? When everybody else around you is like, yeah, I'm going to do that keto diet January 2nd because I'm going to be hungover January 1st. Or yeah, I'm going to try that Weight Watchers thing, or I'm going to buy a Peloton for Christmas, or yeah, I asked my wife to buy me a treadmill. I'm going to start using it in January. Dude, shut up. Seriously. You hear yourself? You're putting it off. Let's replace yourself with someone you care about. What if your child was struggling? Maybe he's struggling in school, right? Maybe he's getting bullied, or maybe his grades are suffering, or maybe he's struggling at sports. Whatever the case may be, someone you deeply care about. As a father, I would lay in traffic right now to save my kids. My kid's like, yeah, I got this problem. I'm like, yeah, you know what? In January, we're going to start tackling that. What the hell? Right? Like you just 2 months, you're going to make your loved one wait for 2 months to start tackling a problem. If fitness is a problem, we got to start right now. No more waiting. Part of why you guys struggle to get in shape is because you've trained yourself to be comfortable with this waiting game. You've gotten into the pattern and the habit of this fight that feels good because you're like, yeah, it's huge dopamine. I bought this new diet. I hired this coach. But you did it after putting off your fitness for 3 months, talking about it every day. And so it's no wonder you have to dig yourself out of a bigger hole every time because you dug yourself deeper waiting to start getting out of it. So start now. So guys, we're going to talk about how to get out of the fitness struggle and how to build something that will serve you, not just now for the rest of this year, but all of next year and for the rest of your life. All right. You guys cool with that? Are we cool if we jump into some fitness talk in the chat? Just write yes. Let's jump into it. I'm going to give you guys the best tips I can give to at least give you something. I promised earlier in the talk that you'd have 3 takeaways. Hopefully you got a couple so far. Johnny dropped a serious bomb about, I coach football. So I'm like, holy crap. 3, that's a Hall of Fame thumb right there, dude. Freaking, I don't know. I guess I'm Walter Payton with my thumb running all over the field. So we got 3 pillars when it comes to fitness. All right. The first one that I'm going to talk about is movement. What are we all doing right now? We're all sitting down. We're all in front of a computer screen because that's how we network and communicate in 2024. It's awesome. It's great. We get to connect with people all over the world. Problem is we're sitting down. First of all, we're sitting down in a very unnatural state. Our freaking hips are all folded in, our back's curving, our shoulders are slumping, our posture sucks, and our eyes are just getting blasted with blue light, right? So what do we got to do? Well, we got to start moving more. The rule of thumb when it comes to getting in shape is we got to lose body fat. We got to improve our energy. And the number one thing you got to start doing is you got to start walking. You got to start moving your body. You got to get off your ass, which if you do the math, we drive to work or the office or whatever, meetings. We sit at the meetings. We sit at the desk. We sit watching our kids practice. I see parents roll up with their fold-out chairs and sit down watching their kids practice for an hour and a half. I'm a coach. I watch all the parents roll up with their beach chairs and sit down on the sideline, right? Then we come home, we watch Netflix, right? We watch Netflix. We sit down and eat. Got muted. There we go. So movement is the pillar that we got to focus on. Why? Because it's the easiest one to start changing right now. Like for the most of you, you can get up after this meeting and you can go for a 10-minute walk. You can start right. It doesn't require any special equipment or skills or whatever. You just put one foot in front of the other. That's it. All right. So walking is never going to go out of style. Spoiler alert, guys, 10 years from now, when I'm almost 50 years old, I'll still be talking about walking. Okay. Now do your research, but there's something called blue zones. Anybody heard of blue zones, by the way? Anybody know what blue zones are? Right in the chat if you know what a blue zone is. It's basically where people live forever. Not forever, but like they live to like 99, 100. There's these zones around the world. They're called blue zones. They're spaced out. There's one in Florida and Naples. That's a blue zone. And there's ones all over the place. Japan has one. There's one in Europe. Anyway, long story short, one of the number one things, there's actually a documentary. I don't agree with everything the documentary says on Netflix, but there is a part that I do agree with. And the part is walking. That's what keeps these people alive. Because a lot of these cultures, they walk everywhere. You know, they walk up hills. A lot of like, yeah, there's one in Italy, Nathan. Exactly. There's, I think one in Italy where there's a lot of sheep farmers. And these guys, you know, they walk with their sheep up this hill. They hang out with them during the day. They tend to the flock or whatever. Then they walk down and they're like 98 years old because they're moving a lot. They're active. It's really hard to die when you're active, guys. Like if you think about it, right? It's like, it's really hard to just like, ugh, you know, I'm so unhealthy. It's like, no, how can you kill something that's like moving all the time? It's like super active. So you have to think about walking as a superpower. It helps you burn fat. It helps you get mentally clear. Take meetings on a walk. You meeting someone for a business chat? Be like, dude, let's take a walk. Let's talk and walk. I got to get my steps in. I'm trying to get shredded. Guys like, oh, cool. Me too. Let's go for a walk. I promised in an email I sent out my favorite cardio workout. Okay. I'm going to try to give you guys something you can hang your hat on that will guarantee results. One of the things we do with clients that come in our program is we encourage a focus on what's called your VO2 max. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get all sciencey and nerd out with you guys. I will say that for another call. But VO2 max is basically your body's cardiovascular ability. It's your body's ability to use oxygen at a very efficient level. Excuse me, I had to sneeze for like the past 10 minutes. Finally came out. So our VO2 max is something that most people with a gun to your head, like you couldn't tell me what your VO2 max is, right? Because you don't know. And that's cool. But I promise you, if you do your research on VO2 max, you'll see that it's highly correlated to lifespan. So a good VO2 max is positively correlated to living longer. So how do we improve our VO2 max? Well, you can do cardio, right? But there's a specific kind of cardio that I want to share with you real quick that you can add to the next time you do your cardio. This can be done in any kind of cardio, by the way. So there's 20 minutes. So you're going to set aside, let's call it an hour, right? Some days you don't need to lift. You just go do cardio. 20 minutes of what's called intervals, right? Intervals are, you're going to go really hard for like a minute, and then you're going to back off for 2 minutes. Okay. You're going to repeat that for about 20 minutes. Then once that's done, because you're going to go really hard, you're going to recover really hard. So that gets your heart rate up and then you recover. Heart rate up, then you recover. That's building what's called your zone 3, zone 2 cardio. Okay. Then you're going to do at the end of that, you're going to do 30 minutes of like low zone 1, zone 2 cardio. I put zone 1 here, but all that basically means is it's very low intensity. Just think about walking, just normal walk, not heart rate's not high. You're not really sweating. You're not out of breath. You're just kind of walking. You can do this on a treadmill. You can do this on a bike. You know when you're in that easy cardio because it's just easy. You're like, I can do this all day, right? Intervals are not easy. So what we're doing is we're getting our heart, like, and our lungs to work a little bit more for 20 minutes. We're going to do the VO2 max kind of training. And then we're just going to move for just movement's sake and fat burning sake. All right. That's my favorite cardio workout. Do it twice a week. Twice a week. All right. Do that for twice a week. And your cardiovascular health will improve. Now, obviously, there's more to cardio than just that. But if you start to walk more, you make a point to take the stairs, not the elevator. You know, you're stuck at the airport, flying somewhere awesome. Your flight gets delayed. You're pissed off and you're like, let's just go drink. How about just go walk? All right, go get some steps in. Go burn 1,000 calories walking around for an hour so you can go eat whatever you want at the resort you're flying to, right? But seriously, start to think, man, what am I just sitting around doing jack? Or what am I doing something that I could be doing while I'm walking? This means on this call, like I am and navigating and clicking buttons, you could be out walking, listening to me yap at you for the next 30 minutes, right? Go get some movement in. My clients know what I'm talking about. Okay. I do see some questions popping in. Don't worry. I'm going to save Q&A towards the end. Real quick, before I get into muscle, Johnny, anything on movement you would add? Do you agree, disagree? You're on mute, brother. Casey's got there you
No,
go.
I agree 100%. So like I said in the beginning of the call, I grew up in Jersey, out here in Vegas. Every time I speak to somebody, you're like, you know what? I shouldn't say every time, but quite a bit. They go into retirement, lay up, and all of a sudden they're getting ill. I sincerely feel that the mind, that once it knows it's like retirement's done, time to chill, it goes into that mode automatically. It's going to start shutting down. If you go ahead and analyze as far as wherever you're from, wherever you're living, and start paying attention to people are like dying for that retirement. I don't plan on retiring because I don't want to stop moving. I enjoy what I do. And obviously your life changes as you get older. It'll be some sort of realm of still working. It just may look different. But ones that truly do, you hear about it on a regular basis. They're getting sick. They're getting ill. They do not last much longer. How many people do you know retired at, let's say, 60, for example? They hung it up late on a beach and they're 95 years old and super healthy. No, the ones you hear those stories about, they're active. There's motion going on. They're out there doing their thing and everything else, enjoying life. They're not just hanging it up. So you have to keep yourself going if you want to keep on going. It just is what it is. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm probably one of my biggest downfalls is going to be is I don't sleep enough. Every trainer I've ever had said, Johnny, do not sleep enough. That's my struggle. I sleep on average, call it 4.5 hours a night. Does it catch up with me after a month or two? It does, of course. I'm a human being. And then I'll hit a brick wall and I'll recharge on a Sunday and I'm back at it again. Other people, they just want to sit back, relax. I really don't think that serves you if you do too much. If you're dying to sleep off the weekend or sleep off after retirement, you need that motion to keep on going. You definitely need it 100%.
Yeah, I don't plan on retiring ever. That's a myth, first of all. These days and times, what is retirement? It sounds so boring, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's chapters of life. Will I,
Great.
be running marathons when I'm 85? Maybe. I don't know, right? Maybe I'll do high rocks and just freaking crush people at 85 years old. It'd be awesome, right? But, I don't want to slow down. There's too much to do, man. God gave me however many years. I don't know how many years, right? I mean, I only have today right now, but assuming I get average lifespan, 80 years or so, or maybe hopefully more than that. I've always said I'm going to live to 100, but like, I don't mean I'm just going to like limp my way across the finish line and like crawl my way to 100. Like, I want to be flourishing. I want to be like, man, how is this guy ever going to slow down? Like, that's who I want to be. And it's just a decision, guys. Like, all of you, I'm not special. Johnny's not special. I mean, yeah, Johnny's kind of special. But Casey's special.
There you go.
But I'm not special. So if I can change my mindset and start to think in those terms, you can too. It's just a decision, man. It's just a lifestyle. It's just how you take care of yourself. It's the people you surround yourself with. That is huge, right? Like, hearing Johnny say, I'm never going to retire. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I'm never going to retire. But if, you get a bunch of people who are like, man, I can't wait to get to 65 and cash in my pension and like move to the beach and just sit on the beach all day. It's like, yeah, it's going to get pretty old. Like, after like 2 days, I go on vacation. I get sick of sitting at the beach after like 2 days. Right. I'm like, what am I doing? Let's go do something, man. Start a business or like, let's go work out. What's going on? So, stay active, stay in motion, recover. Obviously, I'm not telling you to beat yourself into the ground here, but don't shy away from movement. There's a quote I always put on social media. People are like, I'm too tired to go to the gym. No, you're too tired because you don't go to the gym. That energy that you're looking for, you have to create it. It's all in your brain. Trust me, I know. I have many stories. We'll talk about some of them as we get into this too here. But like, ultimately, I always joke around with my wife. The best workouts I ever have is when I'm sleep deprived. It's when I'm sleep deprived. It's the best workouts I ever have. Why? I'm tapping into like the real energy. Like I actually have to like focus. You know, I'm not like this guy, oh, got 8 hours of sleep, kind of out of it. Like I got 2 hours of sleep. All right, let's go run. Ooh, man. But you tap into another layer that you didn't even know you had. And that's when you're like, man, that's a kick-ass workout. What just happened? I slept for 2 hours. Yeah, because you actually used real energy that you normally don't have to use. So, all right. Let's just real quick. Someone asked, what is the cardio I do? So really for that interval cardio right now, I'm running, right? Because I'm training for stuff, guys. Like we'll talk about how to set up your phases for training at the end. But right now, my intervals look like a slow jog and a fast run for my interval. But for some of you, it might be walking on an incline on a treadmill for a minute. You know, don't hold on to the treadmill, like really work on it. And then slowing it down, bringing the incline back down for 2 minutes. Okay. You could do the step mill where you're ramping up the steps really fast for a minute and then bringing it down for 2 minutes. There's no right or wrong. It's just about getting your heart rate to elevate for an extended period of time. Okay. It's not HIIT training. Well, that's not HIIT. It's just interval training. All right. So let's talk about muscle. Muscle is the second pillar. Muscle is how we're going to look good. Okay. It's how we're going to keep our bodies from breaking down. You know, we got to fight the aging process. And it's not just about cardio. Cardio is more for your heart health, your lungs, your brain health. But muscle is where we improve your metabolism. We improve, you know, how you look, you know, your body parts that you want to improve, and everybody's different. Some guys just want the abs, some guys want chest, arms, women want the butt, the hips, whatever. The only way you get there is by lifting weights. Anybody who tells you differently is just lying to you, right? Oh, do this band workout. Like, okay, yeah, bands are cool, but like lift weights. Okay. Like, seriously, stop thinking you're going to get too big or too bulky or whatever. Like, there's no worry there at all. If you're going to get too big, we already know. Like, you're one of those freaks of nature. You touched a weight and your arm just exploded, right? We're all average dudes, right? We're all average people, women, guys. Like, we got to go lift weights a long time to see muscle. But the point of it is we're trying to strengthen our body. Okay. Not all of us can walk around like a fitness model with pounds and pounds of muscle. A lot of that's genetics, but we can all get stronger. Some of the strongest people I know are not the biggest people. All right. My son, I'll tell you a story. He's 65 pounds. He's the oldest. My youngest is 73 pounds. He's almost 10 pounds heavier. If you saw my oldest, you're like, man, he's, you know, lean, strong kid, but you know, he's not the biggest kid on earth. But boy, is he strong. Like he's just got strength because his tendons are wired tight, right? Well, I want to be strong as a human. You know, I don't want to feel like vulnerable out there. You know, I don't want to feel like I can't defend my family, or hey, if someone needs a lift or something, I can't help lift something heavy, or you know, I just don't want to break down. You know, you see people as they get older, man, my knees are killing me, oh, my back. You know, it's like, yeah, well, tell me about your lifting routine. Oh, I don't lift weights. What do you mean? I don't want to hurt myself. No, no, no. You're getting hurt because you're not lifting weights. You got to give your body a reason to stay strong. Okay. Plus, you know, you want to eat more. You want to be able to enjoy the finer things in life without worrying about gaining a bunch of weight. Muscle is very metabolically demanding. You burn more calories when you carry more muscle. Also, you guys worried about health issues in your family. If you had family members die of, you know, heart disease or cancer or just sudden issues and illness, there's plenty of studies out there that say having an above average amount of muscle can help fight off some of those diseases. All right. It's very metabolically demanding. It requires the body to work more to keep it. So the body's just going to be better at fighting off things that could potentially hurt your health. Of course, this assumes you have good lifestyle, keep your body fat in a healthy range, but muscle is a superpower. It's the fountain of youth. Okay. So we got to train. Let me go back for a second. So there's a strategy that I give most of my busy guys who are like, oh, I have no time, right? We get them out of that mental cycle over time, but initially the commitment I would suggest you make is 30 minutes, 4 times per week. Anybody, listen, if I swear to God, I'll put up a bet right now with any of you, $1 million. All I ask is you let me live with you for a week. Okay. If you can't find 30 minutes, 4 times per week to lift, I'll give you $1 million. If you can, you're giving me $1 million. Nobody's taking that bet, right? Because you all have 30 minutes 4 times a week. You kidding me? Right? So 30 minutes 4 times per week. What are we going to do during those 30 minutes? We're going to focus on key lifts. We're not going to go do all the little fancy, schmancy stuff, right? We're going to save the little, cable wrist curls for another time. We're going to go do, in some cases, we may have to do all machines because that's what's going to keep you safe. We're going to do strength pressing. We're going to do strength pulling. We're going to do legs. We're going to do glutes. We're going to be out of the gym. Okay. We're going to push. We're going to pull. We're going to lift our legs. We're going to curl our legs. Okay. We're going to cover the whole body in 4 days. And you're going to get strong on key movements that are going to do 2 things. 1, keep you injury free. 2, make you look amazing, both with a shirt on and with a shirt off, bathing suit on, whatever. And empower you to feel good posture, strong core, less pain, right? All the things that we want. That's all you got to commit to. 30 minutes, 4 times per week. Key lifts, okay? That's it. So far, so good. You guys in the chat, is this helping? Yes, if it's helping. No, if it's like the worst thing ever and you need more, I'll give you more. Happy to give you more. Just write yes in the chat if it's awesome. Don't forget to fill out our little form. Belton put it in there. Casey put it in there. Going to hook you guys up with more stuff. But cool. So far, it's good. I'm trying to drop as much like actual applicable insight that you guys could take right now. I could do all the fluff, right? Like, yeah, go lift weights, but like how much, right? 30 minutes. That's it. How much walking? We'll just start with the cardio workout I gave you.
So,
right? Twice a week.
Josiah, quick question. I'm sure there's got to be at least one person on the call. Just with what is your opinion as far as people that take the shortcut? There's so much out there as far as like Ozempic, for instance.
Oh yeah, sure.
What is your opinion on that?
So I have an opinion that might surprise some people. I think if you combine Ozempic with the right systems and potentially other supplements that can prevent muscle loss like TRT, I think Ozempic done the right way could be a life-changing supplement for some people. What I don't agree with is Ozempic as a standalone solution. Any doctor that tells you just to go on Ozempic and do nothing else is a snake oil salesman as far as I'm concerned, because there is a lot of money in Ozempic right now. But Ozempic, even at micro doses, can be a game changer for some people who really struggle with food addiction, right? It's not necessarily the food addiction itself that's the problem. It's the stress coping mechanisms, right? When life gets tough, people resort to the Oreos or resort to the chips and the salsa or whatever, right? And that's just a habit that's hard to break because it's right in front of your face 24/7. It's like, basically someone pouring a drink in front of you all day. There's food everywhere. So Ozempic can help control your hunger hormones, right? It can help control the leptin, the ghrelin. Obviously, the science behind it is in depth, but it's some exciting stuff when done in the proper system. You got to lift weights. You got to have the right small dose to start. Don't get into this crazy dosage. You're going to probably need to cycle off of it at times just to give yourself a little bit of a break. But I do know a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, Jen, to your point, the GLP-1 meds have caused a lot of problems for a lot of people, right? So the first thing I would do if you're thinking about jumping into that big ocean of, GLPs, be aware that it's a better resort in most cases to start getting your systems in place. A lot of people just don't realize what's possible. We have a lot of clients on this call. They can tell you with the right system, fitness and being healthy doesn't have to suck, right? It's not like this, oh man, I have to eat chicken and rice and freaking, train twice a day. It's going to be awful. I'll never get to eat anything good again. Like, no, it's not like that. With the right community, the right coaching, the right plan, a lot can change without those drugs. But it's not a standalone solution, in my opinion. It could help some people if it's a part of an overall well thought out system. So it's a great question. And yeah, it's a hot topic right now. I mean, because, TRT, another hot topic. Everybody thinks it's magical. It's not magical. It's good, but it's only good with the right systems, the right habits, the right routines, the right plan, right? Thanks for being here, Susan. Appreciate you. Yeah. I would err on the side, to your point, Eric. I'd err on the side of trying to do it without it, for sure. Right. Trying to do without it. Going to be better off. So speaking of Ozempic, let's talk about eating. So meals, right? There's a simple rule that I have, and you might be like, holy crap, what is this? What is this guy on? Right. But you got to eat at least one thing every day that you love. At least one thing a day. Ideally, you'd find that one thing to be included in your diet in a way that allows you to hit the main variables that you need to hit in order to be successful with food. And that is your calories and your protein, right? But if you don't have something enjoyable every day to allow you to just feel like, man, there's some pleasure that comes from food, because food should be pleasurable. I mean, it wasn't created for you to like hate it, right? Food's supposed to taste good. You know, if you're a biblical dude, you go back reading the Bible. I mean, Jesus liked food, right? So like, it's not like, oh, dude, food's like not supposed to be enjoyed. Like, no, you're supposed to like food. But it's just we've created this monster of a food system, and this massive process-based movement of just crap, that it's hard, right? Because what we love leads to like overeating in some cases. So we have to design a plan that gives you some enjoyment every day, but still allows you to hit your goals. When my wife was pregnant with our first son, in order for me to like not go insane, because my wife couldn't leave the house, is a really scary time. She was on bed rest for like 6 months. I had to do something, right? So I was like, all right, I'm just going to diet my ass off. Like, I'm going to be so shredded when we have our kid. And I remember like I did this hardcore, it wasn't terrible, but it was just, I was very dialed in. But every night, like clockwork, I had this breakfast burrito that I would make. It was so freaking good, right? But the reason I remember it is it would piss my wife off, because the smell would be in the house. She'd be like, what the hell? I can't even get out of bed. I'm having morning sickness. You're making these damn burritos. I'm like, babe, it's the one thing every day that I love. What am I supposed to do? So I had to change that up. But my whole point, I actually changed to protein pancakes, which smelled amazing, right? It smelled like cinnamon. So of course that was good. But every day, guys, you should have a meal or a protein-based snack, something that you get enjoyment from, where you're like, yeah, some of my meals kind of boring. They're not the like most exciting thing. They're not bad, but not every meal is a 5-star meal. But every day when I, get home from work, I have that, protein bar that tastes so good. Or I have that like, little meal that I take for lunch that's just so bomb. Or I eat out, but it's calorie controlled and the meal's amazing, whatever. Life's going to be easier when you enjoy your diet. Okay. So eat one thing every day that you truly love. Can't stress that enough. All right. So that's my nutrition tip. Obviously, you heard maybe a couple little nuggets in there, but nutritionally speaking, the only two things you guys should be worried about right now, unless you've completely mastered nutrition and like it's super easy for you, total calories and protein. You get those two things right, I promise you everything else falls into place. Okay, we can obviously help you with that. We're going to talk about how to set up your whole year for fitness right now. But nutritionally, don't listen to all the noise. Don't listen to the media tell you, oh, you got to count, your points for Weight Watchers. Don't eat carbs after 6. Like, bleh. No. Calories, protein. That's it. I've been in this game a long time. Man, I've helped thousands of people. You can ask the clients, like, that's the rule. Okay, get those two things right. All right, you guys ready to set up your whole year for fitness? Are we good? I know what time is it? Yeah, we're over the hour. It tends to be how it goes. But if you guys got time, hang out with me. I'm gonna give you a 5-minute year goal planning session. You guys cool with that? Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to take you through what we do with our clients. Okay. Because I'm going to give you a method to my madness, how we actually get you to achieve more than just one goal every single year. Ideally, at least 3 goals every year. All right. These are some of our clients. We have a lot of them. These are some amazing people that I've worked with over the years, that our team, like our coaches, some of them are on this call, Belt and Christos, have worked with these folks. Anyway, the first phase we want to go through is what I call the before and after photo phase. All right. Get a solid before and after. Be proud of your body. Okay. Don't chase all the different goals. Don't try to do 10 things at once. Proud of your before and after. That's phase 1. For some of you, this might be the first 6 months of the year. You don't have to get as lean as these guys necessarily, but you like the before and after. You're proud of that. You're like, look what I did, man. I changed my body, right? I'm now happy to take a selfie. Look at their faces. You know, now some of these guys look like they're pissed off. You're just trying to look hardcore. Don't pay attention. But look at Lindsay in the middle. I mean, first one, she's like, gosh, dang it. I can't believe I'm taking this, but whatever. Let me try to half smile. And then the last one, she's like freaking flexing on people, right? So that's what we're after. Is just that confidence change. I think Lindsay might be on this call. If Lindsay, you're out here, say something in the chat. You're like you're my longest standing client, by the way, guys. She's been working with me for like 10 years almost at this point. So
Hi, guys.
hey, Lindsay's there. Awesome. That's so cool. Guys, I mean, my life is amazing. Like I get to work with people for almost a decade. Lindsay and I have run Spartan races together. Man, we have so many stories, but Lindsay was with me when I tore my biceps. She nursed me back to health. Otherwise I'd be dead. But anyway, so it's a story for another time, but the before and after phase is an important one because it sets you up from a confidence perspective that you're capable of more because there is more. Okay. So that's phase one. This could be 3 months. This could be 6 months. It might be 8 months for some of you, but if with the right plan, you can make a rock solid before and after in 4 to 6 months. Okay. Promise you that. Okay. That's phase one. Phase two, because there's more, right? Fitness is not just about looking good. We help people look good. That's phase one. You want to look good, feel good, all that stuff, right? What about doing something that you didn't think you could do? What about doing something that you always told yourself, oh, no, I can't. That's for people who are fit. You know, that's for people who are ripped. That's for people who have more time, blah, 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 right? All the excuses. Look at all these clients. Obviously, I'm down here on the right, but look at all these clients that are doing things that you had talked to them a year before this. They'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a high rocks. I'm not doing a Spartan race. I'm not running a 10K. I'm not running a marathon. I'm not running a half marathon. I'm not doing a DecaFit. You guys may not know what these things are, but they're physical challenges. So we help you. And in the next phase, I would suggest you do is what we call the finish line photo. Go use your body. Like you just work so hard to get in shape. Are you going to just walk around taking selfies in the mirror all day? Maybe. But, and that's, well, if that's your thing, I'm not here to knock that, but go do something. Go prove to yourself that you're capable of even more. By the way, people get bored of just being in shape, right? Got to do some stuff. So have a phase every year where you tackle a physical challenge. You don't need to go win. Okay. Unless you're like a super competitive freak like me, who's like, no, I'm not going to just go do something. I'm going to win. Right. But go do something for yourself. You're just beating the old version of you every single time. Right. The guy last year who couldn't get off the couch, man, I'm kicking his ass. Right. That's all it's about. You want to lead your kids. You want to lead your family. You want to lead your team. Go do this stuff. Oh, what's Mike doing on the weekends? Oh, he's freaking, yeah. Besides being a killer at work, he's out there running 10Ks. Like, what? Oh man, we got to go run with Mike. Yeah. You're a leader. Be a leader in a performance phase too. Okay. Phase three. I left Gerald up here. I don't know why I did that. That was dumb. But cover model photo. This is final phase. Now, this is elite advanced stuff. This isn't for everybody. We got guys that come in who they lose weight. They have a solid before and after. They do a performance goal. And then they're like, you know what? I've always wanted to get like in incredible shape, right? I want to have something that's okay. Maybe it's not sustainable to be 10, 9, 8% body fat or whatever year round. It's really hard, but I want to do it at least once. I want to say I did something that most people never do for myself, most importantly, because I've always wanted it. So go do it. We help guys get in cover model photo and women too, cover model photo shape. It's one of the phases that we take people through. So what I would suggest to you is prove to yourself that you can do the sustainable stuff, lose the weight, get healthy, go use your body, and then jump into something that may not be sustainable, but it's a short-term, high elite level goal. And I promise you one thing, you may not look like some people who are fitness models. I see guys who have crazy bodies genetically, right? You're like, holy crap. But here's what I can promise you. You will feel incredible fulfillment from having pushed yourself to do something most people don't do, that the old version of you would never dreamed of doing. Okay. Getting in shape to the point where you could take pictures of yourself and be like, wow, I built something that I'm proud of. You know, I built something that I can hang my hat on and say, man, I did something really elite. So there's other stuff you can do fitness wise. I'm giving you a snapshot of what's possible in a year. You can do these 3 things in a year. You can accomplish 3 major goals, but here's the catch. Here's the catch. You got to start now. You got to start right now because you have the time now. Like next month's not guaranteed. January's not guaranteed. Like what? Start now. You're ahead of the game. You got 2 months to finish off the year strong. You can lose a significant amount of weight in the next 2 months. Don't be like everybody else, digging yourself into a hole that you got to climb out of January 1st. You're just knocking yourself back 2 months. Why would you do that? I'll tell you why you do it, because everybody else is doing it. It's just you're around it. So you're like, that's what everybody does. Yeah. So, I mean, January 1. Yeah. Then you go in the gym and the gym's packed and you're like, this is nonsense. I can't even get a machine. Then you leave the gym. You're like, yeah, I'll come back on the weekend when it's less crowded. It's even more crowded on the weekends. Okay, I'll come back and then in January. Well, you're fatter and more unhappy then. Okay, well, I'll start in March. Shoot, it's only 2 months before the warm season. I don't have time to get ripped. Yeah, because Josiah, remember that fitness annoying guy that was like talking out of his ass, you thought, on the call? Told you to start in November, and you didn't listen. So I'm going to plead with you to start now. And listen, we can help, okay? This is a pitch, total pitch. 20 spots. We only do 1 sale a year for our True Transformation Mentorship Program. It's really simple. We build out a system for you based off your life, your schedule, your food preferences, your background, what color you like, all that stuff. Okay. It's fully customized. Johnny just like, wait, what color I like? It's a new program. If you like green, you are a winner. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't matter what music you like, who you voted for, we can get you ripped. Okay. We can get you healthy. We can get you feeling like the person you were meant to feel like, right? But you got to start now. Okay. So what we're doing is we're giving you 2 months for free. So you're going to jump into our either 6-month program or a year program. I know that sounds like a lot of time, but I don't know about you guys. The older I get, months feel like a day now. Like 2 months, I mean, feel like a day and a half. I'm like, wait a second, it's November. I literally looked at my clock this morning, November 13th. Are you kidding me? Right. So you sign up in November, you get November, obviously the rest of November free, but you're going to get 2 months on top of either 6 or 12, right? We don't do the crazy 90-day sprints. We have programs that we roll out from time to time that are shorter term, but you're going to accomplish some stuff in 90 days, but we want to give you something that's going to last forever. So it's more cost effective to break it up over a long period of time, and you'll be able to do more over a long period of time. Okay. The second part of it is, since it's Black Friday, you're going to get 50% off our enrollment fee. There's an enrollment fee and there's a monthly coaching fee that you pay to be a part of the program. You're going to get 50% off. This is only good till one of 2 things happens. 20 spots are full, or November Thanksgiving holiday hits. Okay. This ends on Thanksgiving, whether we fill the 20 spots or not. Clients out there, if you're a client on this call, because I know we have a lot of clients, we have a special offer for you too, to continue on for more time at a huge discount. All right. Just got to take advantage of it before Thanksgiving. I'm only putting this out there because I know we can help you. We can change your life. I had a client, Charles DeSantis. He didn't know I was going to say this, but he texted me earlier today and was like, hey, I just want to remind you how much you change people's lives. You change people's lives. You changed my life and you changed hundreds of people's lives. I just want to remind you of that. And so that's why I'm fully confident in telling you about our program and giving you an offer today, because we can change your life if you're willing to commit, if you're willing to make it happen, if you're willing to follow what we tell you to do, and you're willing to just simply go all in, right? Stop playing around. Stop being amateur hour, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Make a change. There's nobody on this call who's been a client, who's come through and made life-changing decisions, who's regretted it. All right. There's nobody here who's regretted getting healthier, more fit, making more money, having more energy, having more intimacy with their spouse. Like, nobody's like, dang it, why did I do that? That was dumb. No, they're all like, what was I thinking for the 10 years I wasted? Right. So We're going to stop there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to wrap things up because it's 7:30. You guys have spent 90 minutes. We still got 35 killers who are on this call, but I know a lot of people were here. I think we had quite a few in and out, but current clients, don't wait. Get your Black Friday deal now. Email me now. Not a client yet. If you fill out that form, Casey and the team, we're going to get in touch with you, and you'll be able to consult with us and see if we're a good fit to help you out. But this is the most affordable time of year to get started because this is when nobody wants to do it. So be different, right? Be different. I promise you, the 2 months that we have, or a month and a half, really, the rest of the year, are going to be valuable. They're some of the most valuable 6 to 7 weeks that you'll have because it's when everybody else is taking their foot off the gas, kicking their feet up and going, I'll get started when I'm 12 pounds heavier. Like, wow, okay, enjoy that. That diet's going to suck. Well, it's not going to suck. It's just going to take longer. That's all. You're just putting more time that's going to require you to just wait longer to get the result. That's all you're doing. You're just waiting longer. And you're making it mentally more challenging on yourself because you're just telling yourself it's not that important. Right? Cool. Johnny, any last words for the folks, the amazing people who are still here who hung out with us?
I mean, I tell you what, there's been a ton of nuggets in there. One thing I'm going to leave everybody with, you hear it all the time, whether somebody's relationships at this level or it's here, we go through our ups and downs. And as you're talking to a friend, a coworker, a mentor, you're asking them, you're normal, if it's a spot where you're down, hey, I really think my spouse can improve here. So let's start looking at things going into this year, into the mirror, because the most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. Where can we improve? You want your spouse to look better. How can we look better? Because we deserve it. How can we build on ourselves and stay consistent? Because something else you had mentioned going into the gym January 1st. Okay, that's great. It's busy, everything else. Maybe you leave, maybe you don't. But if you show up 2 weeks later, half the gym is gone because people do not maintain consistency. So number one, it's all about taking action right now, 100%. We talked about 3 different levels on this call, and it starts with us. I agree with you 100% as far as our fitness, and mental health at the same time. And then number 2, after you take that action, staying consistent along the path. You don't want to just have something for a minute. You want to have your first home you move into and keep it for a month and then leave? No. You don't want to have your children and have fun with them for a month and just leave? No. Put these positive areas into your life and stay consistent with it. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today.
Love that. 300%. We got a couple questions I'm going to answer as I promised. If you guys have some questions for me, I'm happy to take all the questions you guys have. If Johnny, if you got to roll, you can roll. If anybody else has to leave,
have a good one. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate your time, man. Thanks.
Great.
Make sure you guys connect with Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
You got it.
Pete says, how many rep sets should you be doing to build muscle? So this is going to be dependent, Pete, on your training history. And a basic level, just kind of, losing my train of thought. Just a general recommendation. I would say 2 sets of, let's call it 4 to 6 reps where you're taking a set to failure twice per muscle group is probably a good place to start. So that doesn't sound like a lot of volume, right? Because it'd be like 1 chest exercise for 2 sets of 4 to 6 reps taking a failure. But for a lot of people, that's going to be pretty significant, because maybe they haven't trained with that kind of intensity before. Maybe they haven't trained some body parts before, so their body hasn't been, balanced out. But over time, most people will fall into the bucket of needing about, 4 to 6 working sets per muscle group, per week of anywhere from 4 to 8 reps per set, maybe a little bit more in some cases, like 4 to 12. It's kind of hard to give an exact answer on that, but it's very individual in terms of what you need. I want to see if I missed any other questions. I'm going to scroll up and then I'll come back down because I think I see a couple more. I don't see any that I missed. Yeah. So how do you find the right calories protein? Do I have a calculator? So, there are some calculations, David, that we can make. Big thing we want to take a look at. Number 1 is your eating history, right? Are you coming in having tracked before, coming in having eating a ton, not eating very much, been on a bunch of diets, right? That's very, very important. Want to look at your body fat percentage. You know, we don't want to calculate calories for where you are right now. We want to calculate food for where you want to go. Okay, that's a big deal. You don't want to be, you know, taking whatever calculators you find online, like, oh, if you weigh this much, you should eat this much. Well, they're not really factoring in how much body fat you're carrying, right? So if you're carrying 30% body fat, you know, then only 70% of your body is lean body mass. So we want to be feeding that tissue and not feeding all the extra body fat that you're carrying. So in some cases, we can go lower in calories than some people recommend. Sometimes we incorporate more calories than some people recommend. It kind of depends on where you are. I say one thing I can recommend is protein. Getting about a gram of protein per pound of lean body mass per day is a good idea if you're working out. All right, it's a good target. Doesn't have to be exact every day, but it's a good target. All right. Um, Eric, thoughts on using collagen with creatine for muscle growth? And can someone who's over 50 and shitty genetics still get good results? The second question, yes. Over 50 shitty genetics, yeah. I mean, you can get results. Results are always dependent on you. You know, like, are you better off than you were yesterday? That's a result. And can you get really good results over time? Of course, you got to just stay the course. People give up because they're like, oh, I don't look like Arnold after a month of training. It's like, that doesn't mean you have shitty genetics. It just means you're not Arnold. Like Arnold has like elite genetic, right? So we compare ourselves to these freaks and we're like, I have shitty genetics. You might have good genetics, you just don't realize it. Collagen and creatine for muscle growth. I mean, creatine is a good supplement. It's always been a good supplement. Creatine monohydrate is great for helping you with energy in the gym to lift and train with proper intensity. Collagen, probably not my number one protein for muscle growth, even though collagen can be great for health. It's not necessarily like my top choice for muscle growth. I would say for muscle growth, protein is probably better on the whey protein side. Um, but collagen is great for health, hair, nail, skin, you know, all that stuff in terms of replenishing your body's need for collagen. That's great, and can obviously contribute to the muscle growth factor as well. Thoughts on supplements and recommendations for weight loss and muscle gain. So supplements would first be recommended based off of what you're deficient in. So if you're deficient in vitamin D3, for example, then I recommend vitamin D3. If you're not getting enough omegas, I would say fish oil. From a basic standpoint, most people will find that starting with things like creatine, fish oil, vitamin D3, or a multivitamin, that's a really good place to start. All right. Whey protein could also be up there to make sure you're getting your protein goals, or even a vegan protein if you're sensitive to whey that has, you know, enough complete amino acids inside the supplement, which most vegan protein powders do. A protein supplement would be a good choice to have on hand. Other than that, it would be, in my opinion, probably a good choice to just see what you're deficient in from blood work and then supplement as necessary. What are your thoughts on essential amino acid tablets? Not on my list of things I'd recommend right now. I mean, pointless if you're getting enough protein in from your protein supplementation in Whole Foods. Do you drink coffee or use pre-workouts personally? Yes, I love coffee. I love pre-workouts. I don't drink the hardcore pre-workouts. I actually have a very mild pre-workout. I sell a mild pre-workout that doesn't have, you know, massive amounts of caffeine, but caffeine's a performance enhancer. Yes, it gets abused by a lot of people, including myself at times, but I enjoy caffeine. Yeah, I love it. Probably need to come off of it. I've tried before and just feel like shit. So I'm just going to keep doing it. But yeah, if you're like someone who's drinking 10 cups of coffee a day, yeah, maybe scale back a little bit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little bit of caffeine before your workout. What about electrolytes? Yeah, electrolytes are awesome, Anna. Electrolytes become very important when you are doing exercise that involves a lot of perspiration, right? Because you're losing a lot of electrolytes. But yeah, it's awesome. Super, super awesome. Super awesome. Thanks for being here, Belton. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you a ton. Any other questions for me? Anything at all? You guys are more than welcome to throw anything at me. Appreciate you, Dr. Eric. Thanks for being here, man. Hopefully you got some nuggets out of it. Yeah, and a recommendation on protein powder. I like high quality stuff. Obviously, like number one, because there is a lot of protein powders out there, and some of them are, pretty crappy in terms of quality. But in terms of the ones I'd recommend, I sell one, so you could check out mine, but there's a ton of really good brands out there. I would look for like organic, grass-fed, high quality sources that they source the protein from. But there's also the factor of like, does it sit well in your stomach, right? So you might have to experiment with a couple things, but there's a brand called Legion out there that's pretty quality. Trying to think of another one off the top of my head. Bear Performance is pretty good, but there's so many out there now. I would just look for the quality first, and then you got to test things out. Tips for breaking out of a plateau in fat loss. Well, the big thing with plateaus, man, is like typically they're not plateaus. They're just we're not given enough time, and we've been thinking we're in a plateau, but we're really not. Right? We gotta double check that the variables that we should be tracking are being tracked, that we're actually hitting the targets, and then got to give it more time in some cases, right? If you didn't lose weight for a week or two, that doesn't mean you're in a plateau. The definition of a plateau for me with fat loss would be like no visible changes, no changes on the scale for like 3 to 4 weeks, and you've been like super like consistent, like 95% consistent. But if that is the case and you are truly in a plateau, then it's simply changing one variable at a time. So in this case, it could be lowering calories, seeing if that works, could be increasing activity, could be getting more sleep, drinking more water, but one variable could get the stuff rolling in the right direction. Maureen, you got a question? I saw your hand go up. I don't know okay, go for it.
Just a quick question. For the Black Friday offer for clients, when can we expect to hear back from you if we've answered your email?
So actually it was going to be after this call, but your email came through, so you're all taken care of. You're all set. I already got you on the list. We just want to do this call. It's kind of like the official announcement of it for everybody, but yeah, you're all good. I appreciate you asking, but yeah, you are 100% all locked in for the special, and we'll make sure we touch base with everybody, client or not, before Thanksgiving to make sure nobody misses anything, because it is an opportunity to save a good chunk and stay in the program for a while. So yeah, we want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity, but yeah, appreciate you asking that. And by the way, see you in Chicago. We're going to crush. Can't wait. Jason too. Woo. Can't wait. I'm getting excited to run. It's going to be fun. I'm doing 2 in one day. It's going to be insane. So I'm pumped. So silly. What am I thinking? Anyway, got to get Casey out to a High Rocks. If he loses to me, well, we'll set him up. Let's see. That wouldn't be fair. We'll set a time that you got to hit. If you don't hit it, then you got to wear a Bears jersey like on every call for like 2 months.
That's all right. Maybe it'll
if
help.
You beat it, I'll wear a Vikings. I'll wear a Vikings jersey. I'll wear a Justin Jefferson jersey.
That's fair.
All right, I'm gonna end things here. We got an hour 30-ish, 35 minutes in. I appreciate everybody tuning in this long. You guys are the real winners who want to stay till the end and get as much out of this as possible. I appreciate you guys doing that. If you're not a client yet, get a call, get scheduled. Let's just see if we can help. We got a lot of different options. The only time of year we do a sale on coaching. So I'm happy to roll that out and give you guys an opportunity before prices go up. They go up every year, just because we just do that. So they're going to go up a little bit in 2024. So make sure you lock in some opportunities now. All right. That's all I got. Take the nuggets, apply them. And, we're here if you have any questions. Casey, I know we recorded this. I think we maybe sent it out to everybody. I didn't say I was going to send it out, but maybe we can send out the recording to those who couldn't show up and those who did.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Life moves fast. Make it count. Talk to
See ya.
you very soon.
Right.